a nasty suspicion that Juliet has asked me to speak because she wants to find out what David was up to before she came on the scene. But I'm not telling. But to be serious, Juliet is quite right. I probably have known David as long as anybody, and that friendship goes back to our fathers, because my father, Bill Duncan, and David's father, Tom, were both keen horse gunners, and they were great friends. So, of course, when my brother Hugh and David were starting at Eton the first half, the fathers thought, oh, what a good idea for them to have a friend. We'll introduce them. But in the way that only teenagers can, they looked at each other and thought, why should I want to know him? And they hardly spoke to each other the whole of the time they were at Eton. But, of course, they both joined the Gunners in 1942 on the same day, and they became great friends, and they actually served together for the next 5 years. Hugh brought him to our parties in Hampstead, and with his typical enthusiasm, he danced Scottish reels into the early hours with the best of us. Mostly this was in our flat, much to the dismay of the poor lady who lived underneath. Sometimes it was on Hampstead Heath, and I can remember one Aitson reel on the platform of Finchley Road Underground Station, waiting for a train at 4 o'clock in the morning. David and Rosemary, of course, also had parties at Rickmansworth, but I have to admit that my most vivid memory of those is being driven by David to the station at breakneck speed along those very narrow and windy lanes. But I have a wonderful memory of VJ night, when Hugh and his Wren girlfriend, and David and I, and some other members of the family, went to Piccadilly Circus to celebrate with the huge crowds were there. Absolutely marvellous feeling. And David and I were chuckling at Hugh and Mary, skipping together, hand in hand, down Regent Street. She with his army cap on, and he with her little wren cap perched on top of his head. And at that moment, a drunken sailor seized me and started to kiss me. David, quick as a flash, tore him off and landed one on his jaw. Nah, then, sir, said a bobby just behind us, and peace was restored. I was very, very impressed by my gallant defender. And I have to confess that David taught me to forge the name Sebag-Montefiore. But only because his cousin, Sonia, had lent him her membership card to the Nightingale nightclub. Hugh learned to fly at Middle Wallop, so not to be outdone, David learned to fly too. And only a fortnight before he died, David was reminiscing about what sounded a very hair-raising trip that they flew together to Belgrade and Dubrovnik, not omitting Paris on the way. Well, I married Mike, Hugh Mary, and David Juliet, and we've all been friends ever since. Hugh's wedding was rather unusual in that Mary was Roman Catholic, Hugh Protestant, and the best man was David. David was a very dear friend, and it's been a very long-lasting friendship between the two families. So I do hope that his family will come and meet my family so that the friendship can go on into the next generation. Thank you.